Hi, kindergarten. Today we are going to learn about the Using Our Words tool in Toolbox. And I actually have two stories we're going to read today, and then we're going to do some of the normal activities we usually do when we're working on Toolbox. So, using our words is an important tool for us because it's how we communicate. And it's one of the main ways that we communicate with each other. And communication is important for getting along and for getting the things you need and for feeling good and interacting with other people. So I'm going to start with a story today, and it's called 7 Blind Mice. And I want you to think about the power of language, the power of the words that these 7 blind mice are using. So blind, what does that mean? Yeah, it means they can't see with their eyes. So we, kind of a typical person, you have eyes, you have ears, you have nose, you have your mouth, and you have your hands. And those are kind of some of our senses that we use to interact in the world. And these mice don't have their eye senses. They're blind. They can't use their eyes. So they have to use their words even more because they can't see. And the people the other mice they're talking to can't see either. So they work together in this story using words. 7 Blind Mice by Ed Young. One day, 7 blind mice were surprised to find a strange something by their pond. "What is it?" they cried, and they all ran home. Oh, they're surprised and maybe a little scared, huh? One day, Red Mouse went first to find out. So there's Red Mouse. You see him? Remember, he can't see, so he's using some of his other senses. "It's a pillar," he said. No one believed him. So this is what he thinks it was. He felt it, and he thinks that what he's feeling is a pillar. On Tuesday, Green Mouse set out. He was the second to go. There he is. He's feeling it. What do you think he's going to think it is? "It's a snake," he said. What do you think? Does it look like a snake? Does it feel like a snake? "No," said Yellow Mouse on Wednesday. "It's a spear." He was the third in turn. The fourth was Purple Mouse. Excuse me. He went on Thursday. "It's a great cliff," he said. Orange Mouse went on Friday, the 5th to go. Wonder what he thinks it's going to be. "It's a fan," he cried. "I felt it move." The 6th to go was Blue Mouse. He felt this part. He went on Saturday and said, "It's nothing but a rope." But the others didn't agree. They began to argue. A snake, a rope, a fan, a cliff. Until on Sunday, White Mouse, the 7th mouse, went to the pond. When she came upon the something, she ran up one side and ran down the other. She ran across the top and from end to end. So did she only feel one part like the others? Or did she feel all the parts from end to end, top to bottom? "Ah," said White Mouse. "Now I see." Can she actually see though? No, she's using the language and the things the other mouse found out, and she's using what she felt to put it all together. The something is as sturdy as a pillar, supple as a snake, wide as a cliff, sharp as a spear, breezy as a fan, stringy as a rope, But all together, the something is an elephant. And when the other mice ran up one side and down the other across the something from end to end, they agreed. And now they saw too. So they're using the word saw means understanding, right? And because they all felt something different, they weren't getting along. They all were saying that they only found this one part. And if you only look from your own perspective and you don't listen to people and their words, and you don't try to see deeply into what they're trying to say, then sometimes you won't agree with people. So it's really important to use your words and your mind and your heart in order to understand each other. The mouse moral. The mouse moral. Knowing in part may make a fine tale, but wisdom comes from seeing the whole. So they all saw parts of the whole. But wisdom is when you can see the whole picture, using other people's words and knowledge to help you figure it out. Yay! So that's a really good story to talk about the power of language and the power of working together too. So our using our words tool, we kind of have two sayings for it. One is that we need to use the right words in the right way. And what that means is sometimes when we express ourselves, we don't always use the right words, right? Like if someone took something from me, like my stuffy, I might say, "Hey, give that back." And I'm allowed to say that, right? Someone took it from me and I want it back. So I'm expressing what I need, right? I ask for what I want and need. So I want it back. And I asked for it. I said, "Give it back." But it's more important to make sure you're using the right words in the right way. And I wasn't doing that, right? I need to use a calm voice so that they can understand what I'm saying, and then be respectful and keep my relationship with that person good. So I can say, "Hey, I was still using that. Can I have it back, please?" Right? So using the right words like please, and then in the right way is a lot to do with your tone of your voice, maybe the timing. Like if your mom or dad is on a call at work, is that the right time to come in and say, "I'm hungry"? Right? No, you can maybe write them a little note, because that's using your words too. Not necessarily your voice, but you can write it down. And that's why our pencil is our symbol for using our words. So our pencil is our symbol because we can use kind words with a pencil or with our voice. And when we write, we often talk about how powerful our words are and how you can make a difference with your writing. And especially our persuasive writing right now that we might be able to send to people so that they hear our voice and hopefully listen to what we're saying, right? So if you ever need a reminder to use your words, think of this gesture. Think of writing your initials with a pencil. And that'll remind you, oh, I need to use my words. They're powerful. Okay? All right. Using our words, very important. So our words sometimes can be harmful and sometimes they can be hurtful. And that's where we need to make that choice. Oh, yes, we talked about body language and the tone of our voice. Oh, I remember. I wanted to teach you about your true voice. Your true voice is when you feel good about what you're saying. Okay, a true voice means you're speaking honestly and simply about what we know in our hearts to be true for us. And that's not always easy. So for a moment, I want you to think of a time when you feel like you've spoken with your true voice. And I'm going to lead you through a little meditation for a moment. All right, place both your feet on the floor, your hands on your knees or on your desk. Sit upright with your head balanced easily. Let your eyes gaze on one spot or close them if you like. And take 3 slow belly breaths with one hand on your belly and one on your heart. And practice saying in some kind words to yourself. You might be saying, I tried hard today. I can be a good friend. Notice how good it feels to use your words to be kind to yourself. Now imagine using your words to be kind to someone else. Even when you're upset, you can choose to be kind. You can say, hey, I feel unsafe when you're swinging that stick around. Can we use something else in our game? Or, oh, hey, do you want to come play with me? I see you're sitting by yourself. Isn't it great how words can make us feel better? And of course, we need to remember that mean words make people feel bad, including ourselves. So take another breath. And when we're ready, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and bring yourself back into the room, awake, aware, and ready for what's next. I know one time, I know you guys, when we were in class, I know you guys really liked when I would read your reading or your writing aloud to the rest of the class. Because one of you told me, I feel proud of my work when you read it aloud to the class. Can we do that again? And I thought the way you used your words to express your feelings really showed me how you felt and made me want to do it again. And if you'd come up to me and like, oh, that was awesome. Read mine again, right? I would have seen that more as, oh, like you liked that, but you just liked it and it was fun. But I didn't understand why you liked it, right? It made you feel proud and it made you want to work hard on that writing and make yourself even better. So when you use your words, you can really make a difference. All right, now we're going to focus on words that can be hurtful versus harmful and trying to figure out when those things are happening. And so in this story, it's called Words Are Not for Hurting, and it's going to help tell us about that. What words can we use that are good for us? Did you know it takes only 26 letters to make millions of English words? Some words are super short. Hi, no, bye, yes. Don't forget dog. Some words are really long. Thingamajig, Mississippi, abracadabra. And some words are just plain silly. Wiggly, giggly, cock-a-doodle-doo. Words help you say lots of important things like, I love you. Thank you for helping me. You're welcome. Sometimes your words are loud. Ready or not, here I come. And sometimes your words are soft. Shh. Sometimes your words are funny. Knock, knock. Who's there? Sometimes you even sing them. La, 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 la. Your words belong to you. You choose what to say and how to say it. Your words can hurt or your words can help. These are helpful words. Let's work together. Do you want to share this with me? I'm glad we're friends. We can take turns. These are hurtful words. You can't play with us. Your clothes are ugly. You're stupid. Get out of here. That page, even reading that made me feel not good. Words are not for hurting. When you hear hurtful words, how do you feel? Maybe you feel sad or mad or scared or mixed up, left out, or lots of other feelings too. When you say hurtful words, how do you feel? Maybe you feel sorry and wish you hadn't said them. There's something you can do if you make that mistake. You can take them back by apologizing and making it right. I shouldn't have said those things. I didn't mean it. So using your words now to explain what happened and try to make it right. Here are 2 other words you can say. I'm sorry. Those 2 words can be a big help if you also fix what you did wrong and make sure that your friend is okay now and do whatever else they need. When you hear hurtful words, what can you do? You could say, words are not for hurting. Please don't say those things. Or you can tell a grown-up, he's teasing me. Can you help? Your words are important. If you think before you speak, you can use your words well. It only takes 26 letters to make millions of words. So you've got lots of words to choose from. You can tell this to yourself and others. Words are not for hurting. It's a good reminder for everyone. Woof! And I think that's the end of our story, yeah. So there's some activities to do in the back here, but we're going to do a different one. Now, the other book I thought is really important to mention. We're not going to read it today, but it says hands are not for hitting, right? Hands are for another way of expressing love, maybe giving hugs or making something for someone or cooking food, right? They're not for hitting people or hurting them. And a lot of times, sometimes we forget in our anger or we have a feeling of strong emotion and we lash out with our hands instead of our words. And instead of lashing out with our words in a mean way, we can use words to defend ourselves, right? Like, oh, wow, ow, wait, you're being too loud. It's hurting my ears. Can you use a lower voice, right? So I stopped. It was hurting my ears, but I didn't shout back at the person, right? I didn't hit them to push them away, right? I used my words. I thought about what to say, and I explained what I needed, okay? And I asked for it in a nice way. So that's what you want to work on with this. Now, some of the words in here, I decided to make a chart to help me. And I said helpful words and harmful words. So some of the helpful ones I put were, I feel blank. So expressing yourself in that way is always good. Start with how you're feeling to tell the other person. Let's share. Together. I always feel like together must be a great word because I always like doing things together. What's some more helpful words that I could add to the chart? Go ahead and say them out loud for me. Ooh, you guys came up with some good ones. I want to add one. How about take turns? I remember in the story that they were taking turns, and I think that's a helpful thing to do. So everyone gets to be a part of it. Another helpful word, I bet you guys said this one, please, right? That tells the other person, hey, I really need this. So I'm using please. That should key you into that, right? Ooh, another one, we did share, but another one is we're friends. Reminding someone that you're friends with them can help them remember that we're supposed to be kind to each other because we're trying to be friends or at least friendly, even if you're not really good friends. You should still be kind to each other by being friendly. All right, now the not so fun part, the harmful words. So you can give me examples of things that you've said that were harmful that you wanted to take back and you wanted to make right. Or you could say some examples of words that you've heard said to you, or maybe you've heard between other people. And you were like, oh, those didn't make me feel good inside. So I wrote down, you can't, go away. That's icky. So those are things that I've heard or have been said to me or I've said sometimes, and they all made me feel bad. All right, I have another one. I heard this sometimes when people draw, and then someone else looked at the paper and said, I don't like it. And that hurt my feelings, even though it wasn't my picture, because I was like, oh, you don't have to like someone else's picture, but you don't have to say that to them, right? That just makes everyone not feel good. So instead, you could choose something that you do like about the picture, right? You could say, oh, I really like how you have that smiley face there. Maybe you don't like the whole thing, but you like that one part. Or you can talk about their effort. I like how hard you're working on that. Or I can tell you really like words. Or I really like unicorns. So you can always find something kind to say, even, but I also want you to make sure you're using truthful words, right? You're using your true words to yourself, okay? But we're not being cruel by saying harmful words. Another one is when someone's upset and they just want to have some alone time. And so sometimes they get overridden with their emotions and they say, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Ugh. Right? And that's okay to say, but there's a better way to say it that can be kind of harmful to the person that was just trying to come up and be your friend. One time I saw someone fall and they scraped their knee and they started crying, and everyone went around them and was like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you okay?" And the person just said, "Leave me alone." And everyone was like, "Oh, why? I thought I was just coming to help you," right? And they were confused and hurt by those words. So instead, you could say, "I need to be alone right now, please." Right? And then that gets across like, "Oh, I need to give him space. I came up too fast. I didn't know." And that's okay. Right? So that person then explains what they needed and everyone else knows what to do. So make sure your tone of your voice and the words you're choosing are helpful, not harmful. All right, friends. The last thing I want to leave you with is if you want to do an activity at home, that a great thing to do is to think about the kinds of things that you love to hear from your friends, your family, your teacher, and draw and write about those words that they use and what they mean to you. What are some words that feel good that you've heard other people say? Maybe you've said them. What are words that make you feel good? So write them down and draw about them. And that'll make you remember all those kind words you can use with other people and you can put out into the world to make everyone feel good, including yourself. I also have a family connection letter that'll go out, and you guys can do that with your family as well, too. All right, thanks for joining me for Toolbox today, friends.